Hi there and welcome to more Huxley Spatial GIS ArcMap tutorials. Today we're going to be using Modelbuilder and associated Toolbox creation to make a few new data layers within this map. We're going to make a mean center of these buildings of Western Washington University. We're going to create a buffer around that mean center and then use that buffer to clip out these bus stops and bus routes within the Western Washington University area. So be sure to go over and take a look at the data that we have in our layers, and be sure to add all of this data and make sure that ArcMap knows exactly where it is. Again, it's always a good idea before you even add your data to go in and store relative path names so that you can be sure to access that data no matter where it is, and your map will be able to find it. Alright, so let's open up Catalog. As you can see here, one of the keys to making a good model is organization. I have this large folder which all of my demo folders are in. I've created a model demo folder, a data folder within that for all of the data that I'll be using for this. This is also a good idea to create because this is where all the data the model you run will go. I also have my toolbox. To create a toolbox, all you need to do is right click on the folder where you want to add your toolbox and click Toolbox. It'll add a new toolbox which you can then name however you would like, and then add various tools. To add tools, all you have to do is go and right click again, add, tool, and then navigate to the tool you'd like. Sometimes this can be a little difficult. There are a lot of tools to choose from. If that seems like a little too much, you can open up a search like I did here for select by location, which gives me the tool select layer by location. Click on the directory below it and then copy and paste it into your new toolbox. You can see there it is. You can add each one of these tools or scripts in the case of mean center to collect all of the tools you'll need to make your model. Now in my example model here, if I open it up, look closely at the colors and the shapes here. Blue ovals are inputs, green ovals are outputs, and in the middle here we have our processes which are in yellow rectangles. This is the way it should always go. You may have already learned that an input cannot go directly into an output. There must be a function in the middle. As you can see here, some of these outputs have shadows behind them. This is to signify that this model has been run and validated. That means that this does work. If you have shapes or outputs without shadows behind them, that means that the model isn't working and you won't get what you want out of it. So let me show you how I made this example model. To open Modelbuilder and create a new model file, all you have to do is go to the toolbox in which you'll be working, where your tools are stored. Right-click on that toolbox, go to New, and Model. This opens up Modelbuilder for you. Just like your map, it's important to go to Model, Model Properties, and store your relative path names. Give your model a name. I'll be calling mine EXModel2. The label can be same or different. I'll be keeping mine the same for now. Click OK. Be sure to save your model frequently, as Modelbuilder I found is one of the pieces of ArcMap most likely to sort of shut down on its own or just stop working out of nowhere. Let's drag that to the side. Now let's add some of our data and processes. First thing we want to do is create a mean center of the buildings on Western Washington University's campus. So let's add our buildings and our mean center. As you can see, the mean center and the output feature class here are not colored in. When you see that, that means they're not validated in this case because they don't have an input. To connect that input to that process and get your output, all you have to do is click on the connect tool here, click on your input, and drag an arrow to your process. In this case, this is an input feature class. There it is, it lights up. Next up, we need to create a buffer around that mean center. This buffer needs to be 1 mile. So let's go and grab our buffer tool, drag it into the model builder. Next, let's connect our mean center to that buffer as an input. So you can see the buffer didn't light up. That's because it needs more information. To add that information, click your Select tool and double click. Here you can specify exactly how big you want your buffer to be. We want our buffer to be 1 mile. You can also specify where you want this shapefile, this buffer, to be stored. I have it storing in my model demo data folder. Having a data folder can be really useful for things like model building. So all of your data that's created out of this model can be saved in a centrally located place. Click OK. Next up, we want to clip 2 files to this buffer. These 2 files are our bus routes and our bus stops. Now a clip, if we drag one in here, will only work for one of these, so we actually need 2 clips. To clip bus routes and bus stops to this buffer here, we're first going to need to connect them correctly. So go to your Connect tool, connect your buffer to clip 2. Set it as a clip feature. Next, clip your bus routes as an input feature. So you can see it lights up now. Do the same with bus stops and your other clip. Alright, now let's zoom out a little bit. So you can see this model is not nearly as nice looking as the other model. So let's set it right. To make this look nice and to have it auto laid out for you, go ahead and click this. Much nicer, huh? So, as you can see, everything is colored in. This means the model is validated. But you can click this button here in case you have white or clear model pieces and you want them to validate. Next up, we're going to run our model. So you do that using this play button here, or you can go to Model and say Run Entire Model. You should have a window pop up like this. This will run back and forth and show you how all of this is running through. If it goes to run and everything, it looks good, there's nothing red here, it was completed correctly. As you can see, those little shadows we talked about before are under all of our outputs now. Now, you get to go over here and see your work. See this? All of your data is now here. So let's go and open this up in our map. Alright, here we are back at our map. So first of all, let's turn off view so we can clearly see what we've made. Let's go ahead and turn off the bus routes and the bus stops layer. So now we have a clean map. Now let's go and add that data that we created from that model. If at first you open up your map and your data doesn't immediately appear, go to right click and refresh that folder. If you open it back up again, it should appear there. So let's add our bus routes clip, our bus stops clip, our mean center, and our buffer. Be sure to add the buffer below all of your other clips. As you can see here, you can see all of the things we clipped. We now have a specific layer for these bus routes and bus stops individually that are within the buffer, and we have that mean center there. If you drag your buildings up on top of there, you can see that looks like it's pretty much the center of campus. So now you've created an accurate model that can create new data layers for you to create accurate images of specific data and possibly do some analysis on in the future. Good work, good luck, see you next time.